Everybody say good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Pancini.
All right, we're starting chapter 8. We're going to talk about the volume of prisms and cylinders. The volume. So it goes in that first blank. Of a three-dimensional figure, guys, is the number of cubic units needed to fill it. How many cubic, maybe feet of water can we put in this room? Okay. Try to put your hands like a cubic foot. Okay, it'd be 1 foot this way, 1 foot tall, 1 foot deep. A cube that was 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. How many of those could we stack in here?
A lot.
Say around
a lot.
672.
How about a lot more than that?
Well, I mean, if it's a foot, 8,000.
I don't know about that. Somewhere in between
8,000.
We could actually figure it out. We could figure it out pretty easily, but let's get through the notes and then maybe if we have time, we'll figure it out.
40.
All right. A cubic unit, that's what goes in that next blank. A cubic unit is the space. That's what we're talking about with volumes. Space. Occupied by a cube with sides 1 unit long, whatever that unit is. A foot, an inch, a yard. Okay? All right. Does anybody from last year, does anybody remember the formula for the volume of a prism? 3 letters. Harrison.
A prism. V equals
Base times height. Base times height.
But we use something different than base. We call it,
times width.
well, we call it big B times H.
Oh, I remember
yeah.
that. There's
Okay.
big B and little B.
Right, there's big B and little b. We're going to use big B for volume. Okay? That's all you got. Guys, all prisms. All of them. Big B times H. But you got to know what big B is. Does anybody remember what big B is?
No.
B is the base.
Something about the base.
The width of the base.
Oh, no.
The area of the base.
Area of the base.
Nice.
Maeve gets an A for the day, and we'll move around to the high school at the end of the year. Big B is the area of the base. Okay? So you have to find big B first in all these problems. Okay? And then, guys, what's H stand for?
Height.
Right. H is the height of the prism. How tall is that prism?
H.
Okay? That's what H is going to be. And if you remember what we did last year, we shade the base, and we circle the height. Okay? That's what we did last year. That's what we're going to continue to do today. Over here, we got this rectangular prism. For rectangular prisms, they're pretty basic. Shade in the one it's sitting on. What I see there is like this. You guys can see it in 3 dimensions. Okay? To me, that part's the base. Right there. And then, the height, how tall is this? Okay, it'll probably give you that number. Circle that number. How many people kind of remember doing that from last year? Shade the base, circle the height. That's what you're going to do. All right, let's do this. Oh, somebody last period, they're like, what if we shade in the side instead of the bottom?
Then you get it wrong.
No, I think you can actually do it. Don't write this down. But here's what I'm doing it in a different color.
Would that be the
What if you shade in the right side and pretend that's the base? They're actually just, here it is. They're just setting it like this. Okay, because they shaded in that part.
That looks so
Okay.
cool.
Where would the height be based on the blue stuff?
The green.
Right, the green. It would be that number. Okay?
Would be switched.
It'd be switched. And you would actually get the exact same answer. You would get the right answer. You did it right. Did it correctly. Okay? But my little brain, guys, thinks green.
My little phone.
My little Harrison just randomly breaks out the song. That's okay. All right. My little brain, guys, thinks in the green, so I shade in. If I see the prism standing up like it is, I'm going to shade in the part it's sitting on, and then I'm going to circle how tall it is. It's just the way I think. You will get it right if you do it the blue way, though. Whatever works best for you, do it that way. All right, let's try one. Okay. So this one is the laying down prism, like that, right? So Shade in what you think the base is. I'm going to shade in that bottom rectangle. Okay?
Freeze the ice.
Yeah, say, what number do I circle then?
3.
3. It is 3 meters tall based on what I've done so far. Okay? Does everybody see that? Okay. Could you have shaded in that right side?
Yeah.
What would you have circled if you had shaded in the right side? The 7. You would get the same answer, believe it or not. Okay. All right, everybody look up the ceiling.
High ceiling.
Look up the ceiling.
I see rectangle.
What's the general formula for volume? Big B times H. Everybody jot that down.
Wait,
For-
why do we have to look into the ceiling?
So you didn't look at your notes.
Oh.
Big B times H. You have to write the formula down, guys, for every problem. It should take you about 1.2 seconds to do that. Now, you have to find big B first. That is the part that we shaded. Okay? Miss Phoebe, what kind of shape is big B in this figure? It's a rectangle. Look, hey, use your cheat sheet. How do you find the area of a rectangle?
A equals B times H.
I always do length times width for a rectangle, but base times height is the same. Little b times h would be the same thing here. And then, Phoebe, what are the numbers of the length and the width of the rectangle?
2 and 7.
Nice. 2 times 7, which is how much?
14.
So, big B, guys, is 14 meters squared. That's just, hey, what's up, Chief?
Put that on your desk.
Okay. Hey, who'd you have this week? Who won? I didn't see.
Steve had Ryan Moore.
Who won?
Speed
Speed?
for the playoff.
With who? Ryan Moore?
Reed
Talking about
and
or
the
basketball.
other guy.
Ryan Moore? That Earth?
No, it wasn't Stenson. It was a three-way tie.
Oh. Was it Stenson? It'll be his Stenson.
Speed, Reed, and somebody else.
Are we dorks that weren't fantasy golf leagues?
Yeah.
Fantasy golf. Oh my
Fantasy
God.
golf.
I thought it was basketball or something. I was like fantasy golf.
You're dorks.
That's different.
I understand it
Fantasy golf. What does this world come to? At least I'm not in like a fantasy pro bass
Badminton.
fishing.
That's a thing.
That'd be funny to do.
That's a thing.
That is a thing, yeah.
And fantasy badminton.
Fantasy tennis.
Fantasy
Fantasy
car.
tennis, I know there's fantasy NASCAR.
Fantasy dancing. Fantasy dancing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Fantasy sleeping.
So, 14 meters squared is just big B. Now, we're going to take that and plug it in for big B. We're going to take the number that we circled, plug it in for the height. So we go back to our V form. V equals 14 times 3. Feel free to grab your calculator, or if you're just really smart, you know what 14 times 3 is.
42.
42 meters. Do we know how to label volume, guys?
Yeah, meters squared.
Cubed.
Meters
Area is squared. Volume is cubes.
Yay. I like
That's
this
it.
math.
And if you
Hey,
do it
you
wrong,
do have to show all this work. Look at me. Everybody shake your heads. You are going to try to show all this work.
Is that what we
Yeah.
do stuff?
Okay?
This is so easy.
Angie, question.
I did it the other way.
Yes. And here's why. Don't have to write this down. Just listen. Angie, what's 3 times 2?
6.
What's 6 times 7?
42.
You get the same answer the other way. Okay? Again, I see it this way. She stood it up. With what kind of shape is that next one though?
Prism.
What kind of prism is that?
Triangular.
Triangular prism. I got one up here. I got 2 of them. Okay, it's like I would think this is like an army tent, an old school army tent.
Yes.
Okay, here it is. Now this one's laying like this. It is not sitting on its base.
It's not.
Let me say that again. It is not sitting on its base because remember what we said about the bases. There's got to be 2 of them, and they got to be the same congruent. They got to be congruent. So look, there's not the part that's sitting on my hand. Part above it's not the same. You know, it goes to a line. So everybody, get your hands out in front of your face right now, like you're gonna grab something. There you go. That's very good, Connor. Okay. Not so violently. Not so violently though. Okay, you look like you're gonna strangle somebody to death. All right. Everybody, grab this triangular prism. Guys, let's go. Hands up. Grab it right now. Reach out here and grab it. Turn it. Stand it up like this.
Oh.
Which part is the base?
Triangle.
Triangle. Everybody shade in the front triangle or the back triangle. They're the same. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. You cannot shade in that bottom rectangle. Okay? So, no. Sloppy is bad. Is fine. Does not have to be perfect. And then, what number gets circled for the height?
3.
No. The 3 or the 12?
12.
Why the 12?
Because it's not the base.
Right, because if you stand it up, it's 12 centimeters tall. So, let's do this. Big B. Volume equals big B times H, and big B is a triangle. From your pink sheet, what's the formula for the area of a triangle?
3 times 8.
A equals a half times B times H.
1/2 times, hey, look at, there comes little b. We got big B, and now we got little b. 1/2 times little b times the height, okay? But now, don't blurt this out, but what are the dimensions of the triangle that represent the little b and h? Don't blurt it out. Raise your hand if you can figure it out. What are little b and h of the triangle? Come on, people, try think. Colin, what is it?
8 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah, 8 and 3. So it's a half times 8 times 3. I would expect you guys all to do that in your head. What's half of 8 times 3? 12. Half of 8 is 4 times 3 is 12. So big B, guys, is 12 centimeters squared. I ran out of room over there. That's the area of the base. Just a coincidence that the area of the base and the height are the same number. Just a coincidence. So we're going to put 12 in for big B. We're going to put the other 12 in for the height. Okay? You guys know 12 times 12, right?
144.
144 centimeters cubed. Okay, how many people kind of remember doing this last year? Shade, circle, use your cheat sheet, show lots of work. You can do this. All right, here's my question. Is a cylinder a prism?
No. Yes.
Why?
It has 2
Yes,
bases.
It's got 2 congruent bases. It's a prism. Look, it's just like this one. I shouldn't say it's just like this one. It's properties are similar. Okay? 2 congruent. So let's do a cylinder. Volume equals big B times H. Trust me on that, it is a prism. What kind of shape is big B?
Circle.
Look at it. It's a circle, which is 3.14 times the radius squared. It's on your sheet, but I think most of you guys know that one. Find the area of a circle, it's 3.14 times the radius squared. Ooh, what's a radius?
Half the
diameter.
Yeah, half the diameter. And then there's always one kid that thinks, why don't we just use the diameter? Because if you square the radius, you actually get the diameter.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's a really dumb thing to think. If the radius, if the radius is 5, what's the diameter?
10.
If the radius is 5, square it.
25.
You don't get the same number. So radius squared is not the same thing as diameter. Everybody say hi, Mr. Lawson.
Hi, everybody.
Say one and done for Iowa. One and done for Iowa.
One and done for Iowa.
Really?
Why is he fantasy golf?
Okay.
Is that golf too?
No, that's
That's the
NCAA
SAA
basketball. All right. Cylinder problems. We're going to round to the nearest 10. Because we have pi involved, we're going to round to 1 decimal spot. We should all get close, depending on how on our rounding, but we'll get there. All right. We got a cylinder here that's kind of like it's rounded, it's short and kind of.
Like a cheese wheel.
Yeah. All right. They give us the radius. They give us the height. You can totally shade in the top if you want, but I always shade in the bottom. It just makes sense to me. Whatever you guys.
Wasn't Pi Day just happened?
It was Saturday.
It's 3.1415.
It was 3.1415. And at 9:52, everybody was like, all the math geeks were whooping it up.
Are you one of them?
3.1415952. So like 9:52 there. Whatever math geeks do to whoop it up, I don't know. All right. So shade in
I'm totally gonna watch these notes later.
Talk
Just
about
sit here,
math geeks.
My Little Pony.
Yeah, we're in fantasy golf.
Fantasy golf. All right. So shade in a circle. Circle the 5. That's our height. Okay. And now we got a lot of work to do. Big B times H. We're gonna write that down. Big B. Okay. Jack Mayer, what kind of shape is Big B? The circle. How do we find the area of Big B here of this circle? What are we gonna do?
4.
Let Jack do it.
Which is Jack's birthday?
Is it your
Happy
birthday?
birthday, Jack.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I heard that announcement. You said John
Also
here.
birthday prince.
Happy birthday, Jack. What is it, 16th today? Happy birthday.
He's the birthday prince.
One day before St. Patrick's Day?
That's too.
You're an Irish family, too, aren't you?
Nice. Solid.
All right, what's the radius, Jack?
50.
Oh my God. 4 squared. Okay, guys, hey, our order of operations. Then do not multiply these two numbers together and then square that number. Bad order of operations. Square your 4. Exponents come before multiplication. Everybody can square 4 in their head. What's 4 squared? 16. Everybody type in 16 times 3.14. How many people got 50.24?
I got, oh yeah.
Leave it on your screen. Be smart. Work smarter, not harder. Okay? Now we're going to go 50.24, because that's big B, times the 5. Okay? So just hit, if you left the 50.24 on your screen, hit times 5. Practice typing it in.
251.2.
2 what?
251.2.
251.2. Label it, Matthew.
Meters cubed.
Cube. So, that's the work you guys got to do there. Go ahead, Miss Teddy.
Why can't you just combine step 2 and 3 and just do 4 times 4 squared times 5?
Say again. Do 3.14 times 4 squared times 5. Because the formula, that works for just cylinders. But I'm trying to incorporate like this big B times H formula works for all prisms. So what I would like you to do is jot that formula down, and then in your second step, just find big B. And then in your next step, times that by the height, because that works for all prisms. So just try it that way. You're basically doing the same. You're basically doing that. Just write as much as you can down. All right. Sometimes you guys will have some word problems. A can of frozen orange juice is, when it says a can, guys, what kind of shape is that?
A cylinder.
Can you guys draw a cylinder?
Yeah.
Those are about the easiest to draw, I think. Draw an oval and draw 2 lines coming down from the sides. A cylinder is easy to draw. An oval, may focus. And then draw. Then do like a half circle and then a dash circle, because the dash means that it's behind it. It's 12 centimeters high. Where would the 12 centimeters go? It's the height. It's actually the number you should probably circle. It has a diameter of 7.2. Ooh, we don't really care about the diameter. If the diameter is 7.2, what's 7.2? What's the radius? 3.6. That would be 8.8. Half of 8.8. I think it'd be 3.6. He did 7.2 divided by 2. Remember, the radius is half the diameter. Okay? Shade in your bottom. Circle the 12. Big B times H. Minetti, what kind of shape is big B in this problem?
Circle.
Talk to me of the numbers. The formula here.
The formula is pi radius or
3.14 times. You don't have to write that formula out every time. You can plug the numbers right in. 3.14 times 3.6 squared. Do you guys know where your x squared button is on your calculator?
Yeah.
Okay, you can use that. Or you can just type in 3.6 times 3.6. It's the same thing. And times that by 3.14. What number do you get there, people?
40.69.
We got it here. What is it?
40.69.
Oh gosh.
I did 40.769.
Oh, 40.7
Yeah.
or 40.69, either one. Doesn't matter. That's just big B. Leave that on your screen. Not big B. Go back to value now. And then times that by what number did we circle for the height?
12.
So leave that number on your screen and hit times 12. 488.4 or some people might have 0.3 depending on when they rounded. Centimeters cubed. That's a lot of orange juice. That's a lot of orange juice.
Frozen too. Actually, it's
Really?
normal.
Well, they make that concentrate, right? You guys have that
Yeah,
concentrated
yeah,
oranges?
Okay, good, because I'm just like,
So you let the can thaw out a little bit, and you pour it in a big jug, and then you add like a bunch of water.
Yeah.
yeah, it tastes so
Yeah,
good.
that's what this is.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're kind of hurting for time, and you guys don't need to do too many of these, but one thing to think about, everybody look at example 3 carefully. How are they trying to trick you there?
They put the diameter, but they put the arrow. No, they put it's feet in inches.
Guys, there's 2 different units. You have to go to the same unit.
I got
What
it
do you
right.
guys think?
1.5 Holy Spirit.
Do you convert them all to inches or all to feet?
I've got
All
feet.
feet.
Inches.
Actually, it's smarter to change them all to the smaller units. Okay? But you would get the same answer if you changed it all to feet. It would just be in feet instead of inches. 3 feet is how many inches?
36 inches.
That's 37.
So change them to 36 inches.
It's really short.
Okay? Alright. Next one is pretty simple as well. Don't worry about that one. Jump to the next page. Let's do one of the combined figures. It takes a while. Look at that thing.
Yes.
Alright. Objects made up of one or more type. These solids are called composite figures because they're composed of other figures. To find the volume of composite figures, break it up into the shapes that you know. Find the volume of each piece, and then add the volumes of each piece to find the total volume. Okay? Sometimes you have to subtract them if there's kind of like something missing. This first one's an adding one. Alright, look at example 1. What's the minimum number of shapes you could break that up into? 3. I don't think you do 2.
3.
What would the 3 shapes be called? How would you do it?
Oh, you can make one big cube.
Cylinder or tingle tube.
You get a rectangular, spell it better. You get a rectangular prism at the top.
You can make one rectangular prism.
Oh, we put them together? You could do that. I'm going to do it as 3 different rectangular prism plus a cylinder plus another rectangular prism. Okay, Billy wants to take the two rectangular prisms and slap them together and make one great big one. Okay, that would work in this situation. I don't know if that would work all the time. But here's my question to you. Are the 2 rectangular prisms this exact same? Are they
Yes.
congruent?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because all the sizes.
What are they, Trace?
20 by 8 by 5.
Guys, look at them. They're both 20 by 8 by 5, so they're the same. So what I'm going to do is one rectangular prism and then multiply by 2. So let's do the rectangular prism first. Okay? Here's the work for this. We know that it equals big B times H for the volume of rectangular prism. Shade in, circle. I'm doing the bottom of the rectangular prism. If I shade that in, what number gets circled, Trace, for the height?
The 5.
The 5. Very good. Okay. So big B is, what are the dimensions of the base, Trace?
20 by 8.
And what is 20 times 8?
260.
Not 260.
160.
160. Very good. So big B is 160 meters squared, guys. Grab your calculator and times it by 5 to find the volume.
Someone took my calculator.
800.
Always something. Antonio, how much is it?
800. I did the work.
That's
Yeah, I think
What'd you
it's
say?
800.
All right. There's the rectangular, the top rectangular prism. Is the bottom rectangular prism the same size?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to do
1600.
the rectangular prism at the bottom equals 800 meters cubed as well. Now we got to do that middle cylinder. let's do the cylinder as well. The cylinder. Again, we're going to do big B times H. Big B. I'm going to shade in the circle, and I'm going to circle the height of 15. Okay? The 8 was the whole diameter, so the radius would be how much? 4. So 3.14 times 4 squared is, do you guys see that? Did you guys get 50.24 again?
Yes.
You see that number a lot. Okay, a lot of cylinders and the problems that we do have a radius of 4, which gives us that 50.24. That's meters squared. Leave that number on your screen and hit times 15. What is that number times 15? 0.6? That's what I got. 753.6 meters cubed. That's the volume of the cylinder. Now, what do we do with our 3 volumes to find the total volume? Add them all up. Leave that 753 and then hit plus 800, and you should get 2353.6 meters cubed. Make sure you're labeling things. Okay? Guys, that's a really hard one, but I think everybody in here can do this. If you take your time, make a plan, and do the work. Okay? All right, last problem. You guys are doing great. Uh-oh. What do you guys see there?
Semicircle and a rectangular prism.
Looks like a mailbox.
Looks like a mailbox.
A rectangle with a half cylinder.
Okay.
Looks like a bunk bed. A rectangular.
Looks like a book.
Bunk bed.
Looks like a book.
Looks like a toolbox.
Tool, that's what they said, a toolbox or a mailbox?
Or a lunchbox.
Or a lunchbox, an old school lunchbox.
Yeah.
Trash cans.
Okay. All right, it is, guys, let's break it, let's make a little plan. It is a half cylinder. Wait, we never talked about it. What would the formula for a half cylinder be?
The same thing times 1/2 the end.
Yeah, times 1/2 or divided by 2. Half cylinder plus a rectangular prism. This is going to be easy. Okay? We're going to do, let's do the half cylinder first. I'm going to go big B times H, and I'm going to divide it by 2 because I want half it. Or 1/2 times it, same thing. Oh, wait, they didn't give us any numbers for the cylinder, though.
Yeah, the 25. It's at the bottom.
Oh, it's at the bottom. What would the radius of the cylinder be?
12.5.
12.5, right? Half of 25. Okay, the whole diameter would be 25, so the radius would be 12.5. And then what would the height of the cylinder be? 50. I got that from looking down at the bottom. I'm going to circle that number. There we go. Got all the important numbers. This is easy. All right, big B is going to be 3.14 times 12.5 squared. The radius squared. I don't have that number on here. What is? Type it in.
How did you get 12.5?
Great question. Do you agree that the diameter of the cylinder is 25?
Yes.
So, what would the radius be? Half of 25. What is it?
490.6.
Okay, 490.6. Somebody verify that. Somebody else get that? Good, good, good. So, the big B, okay, leave that number on your screen, because, Tara, what are we going to multiply that number by to find the volume?
Shouldn't that be
50. So 490.6 times 50. That's going to be a huge number.
Shouldn't that centimeters be cubed?
How about 12,000?
Shouldn't that centimeters be cubed?
No, that's only that's only area right now. That's only big B. So the volume of that half cylinder I got to be 12,265.6 centimeters cubed. Well, I'm not going to box it. Somebody make sure they get that for the cylinder.
I got something else.
Oh, wait. I forgot to divide it by 2. After I divide it by 2, it is 12,000. So type in, guys, 490.6 times 50 equals, then divide it by 2, because we only want half of that cylinder.
4906.
Times 50.
That's right.
Oh no.
All right, let's do the rectangular prism right now then. Again, that's big B times H. Okay, I'm going to shade in the bottom. I'm going to shade in the bottom, and I circled my 30. Shade and circle. Okay, big B is a rectangle. 50 times 25. That's 1,250 centimeters squared. And then I'm going to times that by 30. So keep that number on your screen and hit times 30. It's a huge mailbox or toolbox, whatever it is. Centimeters cubed. And then what do we do to find the total volume? Add them. Okay? For a total of 49,765.6 centimeters cubed. Okay, we didn't do the take a look at the last one, guys. That would just be a subtraction one. Because look, they drilled a hole in the middle of the cylinder. So what you would do is find the big cylinder, the little cylinder in the middle, and subtract them out. All right, last thing you guys need, grab your weekly review. Try to get you guys some more sheets soon, too.
Didn't we change these?
Right at the end of the first trimester, we did. Oh, we got to turn it off. That was